Welcome, all my fellow Washington brethren and sisters. I am your man and resident Washington football team fan, Lou. Thank you for joining me here on a late night edition of the Washington Football Report Live. So, this was not meant to be a live video. This was supposed to be locally uploaded and allow you guys to consume this whenever you wanted. And then I got caught up in the Braves game. And it did not end the way that I wanted it to, but I wanted that one bad. But that's nor here nor there. And so a little bit later than I wanted to, but I told you guys you were going to get a video. I said actually two of them. So what I'm going to do is combine two videos into one because of, for time restriction purposes. So what we'll do is we'll handle the house cleaning. We'll handle the action of practice today and some topics I want to throw out there. And we'll probably delve into these a lot deeper tomorrow night on the live stream on Wednesday night. But I'll throw out a few topics that are really, to me, starting to heat up. And honestly, the biggest reason to watch on Saturday night or afternoon into evening and into the night against the Ravens. And then we will officially start the giveaway for the Mob Squad, 2 tickets to the Ravens game on Saturday night. If you're interested, all I have is one request from you. And if you want in, we'll do the drawing tomorrow night on the show. And so I'll give you instructions tonight as to how you can be in that drawing for 2 tickets to the Ravens and Washington on Saturday night. So let's start out with house cleaning tonight. And Washington had to trim their roster down to 80. And I told you that they were going to do that, had to get down to the league mandated 80 players today, just like they had to get down to 85 last week on Tuesday at 4 o'clock. They had to do the same thing today, down to 80. They trimmed the roster down by 5 players. They started that process, we thought yesterday, but really it was a 1-for-1 switch with Steven Sims Jr. being released because they wanted to activate offensive tackle David Sharp off of the COVID-19 list. So in order to do that, you had to make a move to allow him to be back on the roster. And subsequently, Steven Sims Jr. was the move that they decided to make. So the 5 guys that they released, I told you, these wouldn't be guys you would recognize. These wouldn't be names that would resonate nor move the needle for you because they're not at that point yet. Those names won't happen until you get to the 80 down to 53 roster cut, and that's going to be next week. But you're not going to know any of these guys because they're not releasing anybody that they want on the practice squad right now. They're releasing the guys that weren't going to make the team and aren't going to be guys they're going to look to keep onto the practice squad. So they released cornerback Jordan Brown, offensive lineman Rick Leonard and John Toth, and linebacker Justin Phillips and defensive tackle Justice Reed. Now, the only name that should stick out to you of that group of 5 is Justin Phillips, the linebacker, because there was an outside chance that they were looking at him at the linebacker position. I thought he was actually somewhat impressive versus the New England Patriots in the Week 1 preseason game. Obviously, they had other ideas. And so I've talked about the linebacker position being either 6 or 7. Generally, if you're going to keep extra guys for special teams purposes, linebacker, corner, wide receiver are positions that you note because those are usually key positions on special teams. And you can throw running back in there as well. If you're going to keep an extra running back, they better be able to play special teams. So Justin Phillips was a guy that I was intrigued by. But I told you, this isn't a deep roster at linebacker, so they're not keeping extra guys. There won't be any dead weight at linebacker. So if they're keeping 6 linebackers, which I assume right now is the case, they could keep 7, depending on how big they are on. And I think he actually had a hell of a game against Cincinnati. David Mayo, he would be the 7th guy, I believe, because right now we know of 5 guys in particular that are making his team. And I guess Mayo would be 6. So I think that's your 6th guy, really, because we know the starting lineup: Cole Holcomb, John Bostic, Jamin Davis. That's 3 right there. You know they're keeping Jaret Norris. You know they're keeping him. Core special teamer. He's not going anywhere. and they're keeping Khaleke Hudson. That's 5 guys right there, okay? So I think David Mayo, with the cutting of Justin Phillips, they're saying David Mayo isn't going anywhere. And I told you when Tress Way spoke about David Mayo's special team contributions on other squads and how they actually had to game plan to stop him, I said, well, not only do they view him as a backup linebacker here in Washington that can play if need be, they also view him as a core special teamer. I told you need at least 1.5 fiends on your special teams unit. We've got 2 fiends already in Troy Apke and Jaret Norris. And you add in another one in David Mayo, and we shouldn't have to worry about giving up any major returns this upcoming season. So I think the linebacker position is pretty much locked in at 6. I don't think that's going to change. As with that move with Justin Phillips, I think that's kind of now etched in stone for me at linebacker. Now, Dyami Brown, Khaleke Hudson, and Cam Curl were all back at practice today. Now, I did not know that Khaleke Hudson was out of practice yesterday. I don't know how that slipped by me. I didn't mention it to you guys. I only talked to you about Cam Curl and Dyami Brown. Both were out with illnesses. Not COVID related, obviously. They would have been out for much longer had that been the case. But they weren't feeling well. They were held out of practice. They were back today, along with Khaleke Hudson. All good news, all key contributors, all guys you want to see healthy on the field and available for preseason game number 3 versus the Ravens. So that was good to hear. Side field action continues. Obviously, Curtis Samuel, never, ever trust a man with 2 first names, working off to the side, in addition to William Jackson III. So I think we've narrowed it down to his quad. Obviously, Ron doesn't have to give us any information, and I don't really care. I'm not pressing him or pressing the media to get out of him what exactly is wrong with William Jackson III. The last time we heard about him having something tweaked, it was his quad. So I'm just going to assume it's his quad. He's working off on the side field. Again, I'm not worried about any of these guys. There's 3 weeks essentially left until we have the Los Angeles Chargers in week 1. I think all of these guys will be ready. And that includes Casey Toohill. And we're going to talk about him a little bit later on in this practice video. However, he was also on the side field, still working back from the toe injury. So that's all of the house cleaning particulars for today. Now I kind of want to get to the meat and potatoes of what we're going to talk about tonight. So Tori Mctire continues to get first and second team reps in practice. And I think this is noteworthy because with William Jackson III out, they simply could have just gone to Juice on one side and to Kendall Fuller on the other side and just kept it pushing. And then work Jimmy or one of these other guys in the slot, and that would be the end of that. But instead, with William Jackson III out of practice again, Tori Mctire is getting reps at 1 on the opposite side of Juice, and Kendall Fuller's in the slot. So, again, this isn't etched in stone, but, man, it's becoming very clear that Tori Mctire is a guy that this staff is really intrigued by, and Ron doubled down on that after practice, saying that they are intrigued. He has caught their attention, and they have taken notice. And at this point now, if Tori Mctire has one more strong performance versus the Ravens, stays healthy, and can contribute on special teams, I don't see a way where this guy does not make the roster. It is amazing. 2 guys, and I can't speak for you out there. Maybe you thought Jaret Patterson was going to make this football team all along, and a lot of you did, and I'm going to give you guys credit because I did not. 2 guys wearing the same jersey number that, for me, were long shots to make this football team are going to probably make this team. It is insane to me that 2 35s out of nowhere. And I think somebody asked me this at some point. I'm not sure if they did or not. And I'm just thinking of stuff in my head randomly. But somebody said, who is the surprise player of camp? That guy for me is Tori Mctire. Because this guy came out of nowhere. I did not expect him. And, I'm very dismissive of players that I don't think have a chance. Very, very dismissive. I can be that way at times. Somebody will bring up a name. I'll just quickly swat it away like I'm Rudy Gobert. Get that shit out of here, okay? That guy's not making a football team. You are not going to have me sitting up here and having a 5 to 7 minute discussion about a guy that is not going to make this football team. So I will be very dismissive at times. And some of you have called me out about being dismissive. I can be that way. Okay. And I do that intentionally because I don't want to waste time on topics that I frankly don't think warrant the type of discussion that some of you want to have. You know, last year, a lot of you wanted to talk about Thaddeus Moss. You know, that guy didn't last into training camp, let alone into the preseason. So, I just try to swat these guys and these conversations away. Some of you, want to talk about Steven Montez for what? Okay, that guy's not going to be a contributor on this team. He's not making this football team. And so I was kind of dismissive of Tori Mctire early on. Some people were bringing him up. I heard reporters continuing to sing his praises. And I'm like, okay, that's cool, but he's not making the team. And we go from that to now, the Friday night practice under the lights with the fans there, the fan appreciation practice, I thought was the first time Tori Mctire really jumped on the radar and said, no, bro, I'm here. Like, I'm not going away. I'm going to make it tough. I may not make the roster, but I'm going to make things interesting. And from that point forward, he hasn't gone away. And it's not like that was the first time he started making plays at practice. He was making plays long before that. But that's when he got on my radar. Okay? So, to me, the coaching staff is taking notice. And I think this guy's going to make the football team. I think 35 may be the lucky number this year for guys looking to make the football team because Jaret Patterson is all but a lock at this point. And I think Tori Mctire is trending in that direction as well. I've been so impressed with him to this point. Sometimes I talked about this all the time. Some guys just need more time to develop and mature. He's been in the league 3-4 years now, has Mctire, and this may be finally the opportunity where he puts it all together. All of the different learning experiences he's had in various stops like Miami and wherever else he's been, this is where he finally puts it all together, and we may get the best of Tori Mctire in this upcoming season. So I think this guy is really making a strong push to make the football team, and with William Jackson III being out, it's given him even more reps, meaningful ones that I think are helping strengthen his case. I think the biggest enigma right now for this team, if you ask me, if someone asked me right now, what is your biggest concern? What is the one thing you just aren't sure about right now as we sit here, I'd say 6 plus 12, 18 days away from the start of the regular season? As we sit 18 days away from the start of the regular season, what's your biggest concern and the thing you're most perplexed about right now? I tell you, it's punt returner. I have no idea what they're going to do at punt returner. We got a Mob Squad member here, Davey Thomas. What up, Davey? Thank you for your membership. Davey becoming a gold member of the Mob Squad. Stand up, Davey Thomas. You in the building and a member of the Mob Squad. Thank you for your membership. Hype Dude, thank you for your membership and welcome to the Mob Squad. Hype Dude, thank you so much for joining the Mob Squad. Stand up, Hype Dude. You're definitely in the building. Same can be said for CJ Shoots Photo. Thank you for your membership into the elite club that is known as the Mob Squad. CJ Shoots Photo. Stand up. You in the building, baby. That's right. So, I don't know what the hell is going on at punt returner. Your guess is as good as mine. At this point, I'm looking at punt returner and I'm saying, are we really going to devote a spot on this roster for a guy just to return punts? It's hard for me to believe that. It's hard for me to fathom and swallow that. I can't bring myself. I gag every time they try to force this punt returner down my throat. I don't really know what we're doing here, but at practice today, 3 guys in particular were fielding punts. Dax Milne, the rookie 7th round pick out of BYU, Isaiah Wright, okay, and also DeAndre Carter. I don't see either of those guys, any of them, I should say, making the squad. I don't. And I think Dax Milne, if we were keeping a guy, he has the highest upside. We know what DeAndre Carter is, to me, as a football player. We've seen him, not necessarily here. I've seen his career. And he has a fumbling issue, or at least he did in the past. I don't know if that's been rectified or not. I haven't been impressed with him, though. I have been impressed with Dax Milne. And, not to mention, Dax Milne is a part of the future here in Washington. I can assure you of that. They drafted him. They like him. And even if he's not going to be a key contributor on offense, they view him as the heir apparent to the slot, taking over for Adam Humphries. So, and Isaiah Wright, I wasn't an Isaiah Wright fan last year. I'm not an Isaiah Wright fan this year, but Ron continues to talk and sing the praises of Isaiah Wright, so I would not dismiss him either. All I'm saying is, AGG is not a lock. I think he's going to make the football team, though. He needs another strong performance. That is for sure. Ron was not pleased with his performance against New England. Neither was I. I thought that he looked soft in that game. I thought he bounced back in a major way against Cincinnati. He needed that game. He needed that game to remain on the roster. If that was another poor performance, he would then be on the outside looking in. I still think he's on the inside looking out at those three guys trying to field punts to make the squad. But he's not, that door is not shut and locked, okay? That door is still unlocked. And those guys can come in and boot him out at any time. If this Ravens game does not go well for AGG, he could easily not be on this roster. I'm still counting him as one of the 6 wide receivers that are making this team, which means, what the hell are we doing at punt returner? I surmise that they've got an ace in their back pocket. And I think that ace is Adam Humphries, who did return punts both in Tampa and in Tennessee for the Titans. I think that is the ace in their back pocket. They're saying, if none of these guys qualify, worst case scenario, we got Adam Humphries. He's not dynamic, but at least he'll field the damn football and the offense will have a chance. And at the end of the day, you're looking for dynamic playmaking ability, but you're also looking for just the simple catch the damn football and get the ball back to the offense return man as well. So I feel like at this point, punt returner it's a mystery to me, man. I can't tell you what the hell we're going to do there. And I'm not intrigued by any of the options outside of Dax Milne, honestly, at this point. And I just can't see them keeping a 6th receiver for just punt return specific abilities. I don't know. We'll see. Isaiah Wright is a guy they like on special teams, not just as a punt returner, but on special teams as well. I'm not an Isaiah Wright fan. DeAndre Carter, I don't think he adds enough value on offense and I don't know if he's a core special teamer, if he's a gunner or anything like that. I haven't seen him, running down on kicks and covering it. I've seen Isaiah Wright do that. I know he's capable of doing that. I know Dax Milne can do that. I know he's capable of doing that. So, and I know AGG is capable of doing that. Right now, he's on the second team punt unit. So I know he's capable of running down there and covering kicks. So we'll see, man. That 6th wide receiver spot is still wide open. I still got AGG penciled in, but it is not written in magic marker like the other 5 guys are. But I'm still sticking by AGG as the 6th and final receiver. And I don't think any of those guys who are fielding punts right now, and all of those guys, including Steven Sims, fielded punts last game with the exception of Isaiah Wright. So I still don't know what the hell they're doing. I think the assumption is, if one of those guys is able to make something happen, they may be able to, and AGG falters. I think it's an and situation, not an or. I think both of those things have to happen. AGG has to have a stinker, and somebody has to step up and make a play. If that happens, I think then you have the perfect storm for AGG to be on the outside looking in, and one of these guys to wrestle away the 6th and final wide receiver spot. But that's something to talk about. Another interesting battle is tight end number 3, TE3 on this roster. That was one of the battles coming into training camp. That's a battle that still has not been resolved to this point. I think the injuries have really complicated things because obviously we know the first 2 tight ends, so that doesn't really need to be discussed. Logan Thomas, John Bates, let's remove them from the conversation. You got 3 tight ends vying for 1 spot. Sammy's Reyes, Ricky Seals-Jones, and Tamarick Hemingway, all vying for 1 spot. So the injury to Tamarick Hemingway and Sammy's Reyes opened the door for Ricky Seals-Jones to really have all the reps last week as TE3 and some TE2 reps. I thought he took advantage of it. I thought he was solid. Look, Ricky Seals-Jones isn't going to necessarily move the needle as a blocker. I think he's a solid athlete. He's an X-wide receiver, so he's going to run some solid routes. I think he can get open down the field, but he's not a tremendous athlete by any stretch of the imagination. When he catches the football, I don't expect him to make anything happen, but that's usually what you get out of tight end number 3. Not a guy that's going to necessarily move the needle per se, but you want him to be able to do his damn job in the run game, and when they throw it to him, catch it and make something happen. But it doesn't have to be on a large scale. They're not going to get you're not getting a lot of targets to your third tight end a lot of times. Anyway, he could do that. Ricky Seals-Jones could do that. Today in practice, he got reps with the 2s. They know what John Bates is, so they don't have to give John Bates 2 reps. They know he's our tight end 2. Okay, they know he's TE2. So they're giving reps to guys that they want to see what they're going to do in these situations. And Ricky Seals-Jones was the guy that got those reps today. And to make matters worse, Sammy Reyes had 2 drops today in practice, in traffic, where he's a big body guy and they need him to catch the damn football. I said this already, and I'll say it again. I don't think he's ready. I said it after the New England game. I said, I don't think he's ready. But none of these other guys have done anything to really separate themselves. So why not just go with the guy with the upside and the promise? But here's the problem. You're going to dress 3 guys every week at tight end. This isn't a situation where you can have an extra guy and sit him down and you're only going to have 2 active tight ends. You're going to have 3 active tight ends every single week. And here's the thing. That third tight end has to be able to contribute. You're 1 bad snap away from somebody having something happen where tight end 3 becomes tight end 2. And that guy has to be ready to step in and contribute. And I don't think Sammy Reyes is ready yet. I really don't. As hard as I'm pulling for the young fellow, I don't think he's ready. I think he's 1 season on the practice squad away from being what we want him to be. So, I say, and honestly, you give him 2 more months on the practice squad. You know, by week 9, he might be ready. But he's not ready now. He's simply not ready now. He's going to have a big game against the Ravens on Saturday night. Because if he doesn't, I just think Tamarick Hemingway and Ricky Seals-Jones are just a little bit too far advanced in terms of their readiness to have Sammy Reyes on the roster. And so the drops at practice, the double catching in the first preseason game, these things don't bode well for him. He's physical. Ron has already lauded and praised him for being physical. Right now, he's ready as a blocker, even though there's still some things he needs to work out and the consistency isn't quite there. He's still a guy that you look at and you say, he can help. The problem is he doesn't have the consistency. And you could say to yourself, well, there's only one way he can get that, and that's in game reps. Well, you're not going to be willing to find out if he can iron out some inconsistencies during live action in the regular season. That's when there aren't any time for mistakes, okay? That's when we need you to be on your best behavior. I just don't know if he's ready for this show yet, but we got 1 more preseason game. That's why him missing the second game was so huge. The only thing that's going to help Sammy Reyes is game reps, and he missed an entire game full of reps. You cannot replicate that in practice. You just can't. So I don't know about him. I really think if Tamarick Hemingway gets his act together, that's the guy they really want to give the nod to, and I could see Ricky Seals-Jones also being a guy that gets the nod as well. So we'll see what happens, man. It's just hard for me to envision Sammy Reyes making this team. Got some more shout outs to give out for some new members to the Mob Squad. Got another one here from Condoleezza Perry. I'm glad you were able to figure it out, Condo P. You had me questioning whether was it not working or something, so I had to do some troubleshooting, and it was there. The button was there. But Condo P, stand up. You are definitely in the building as a brand new member of the Mob Squad. Thank you for your membership, Condoleezza Perry. Rich, not gonna lie, really appreciate you becoming a member of the Mob Squad. Rich, my guy, thank you so much for your membership. Stand up, Rich. You definitely in the building as a member of the Mob Squad. And we have one more. My guy, Fat American. Welcome to the Mob Squad as a gold member. My guy, Fat American. Stand up. You definitely in the building. Welcome to the MOBB, my guy. So, with that said, I got another topic, and then I see some super chats. I want to get to those. And then we're going to talk about this first Mob Squad giveaway. So, for defensive end number 4, when we first entered camp, I was intrigued by the 4th defensive end. We knew who the first 3 were. That wasn't up for debate. Much like tight end with the first 2 guys, not up for debate. Same thing at defensive end. We knew it was Sweat, it was Young, and it was James Smith-Williams. Those 3 could be removed from the conversation. They're on the roster. Barring some kind of catastrophe, those 3 are on the roster. Who is going to be defensive end number 4? They're only keeping 4. We don't have a ton of depth, so they don't need to keep 5. Who's going to be the 4th guy? And I started to think that, okay, Casey Tuhill's separating himself. He was here last year. They were comfortable enough to put him in the game at times last year. He's a year better, a year more comfortable in the system. They're comfortable with him. He's going to be the 4th defensive end. I think these 7th round picks, William Bradley King and Shaka Toney, coming too far off the pace. They drafted him in the 7th round. They want to develop these guys. They'll keep working with them. After seeing Shaka Toney in the first preseason game, I said, oh my God. And I knew this already, and I don't know why I thought it was going to change, but I said, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. This guy is small. we can't bring him with us. He's a little smurf. We can't put him on the field. So I'm like, okay. And I like Shaka Toney, and I've liked some of the things I've seen from him in the first 2 games. He's too small. Period. End of discussion. He needs a year with the strength and conditioning coach, and he needs to get with a nutritionist, and he needs to put on another 5 to 7 pounds before we can even have a real discussion about this guy holding the point of attack on the edge. So I had to remove Shaka Toney, even though I really wanted to see Shaka Toney. So William Bradley King has been a guy making noise in camp, flying around. They love his physicality, this, that, and the third. But I don't see the upside in him that I do Shaka Toney and even Casey Tuhill to a lesser degree. So the guy, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to keep it a buck with y'all. Daniel Wise was busting some ass in the game on Friday night against Cincinnati. Daniel Wise was doing some pretty impressive shit. And it made me go back and say, who the hell is 63? First of all, I don't ever want to see 63 at defensive end. We got to fix that shit. If he's playing defensive end, we got to get this guy at least a number in the 50s or in the 70s or something. Like, you see a guy 63, I'm always thinking offensive lineman. You might get a D lineman in the 60s, but a defensive tackle, that is. Not no DNs, though. So when I saw him, I'm like, what is this damn defensive tackle doing at DN? He was doing some shit, man. I was like, whoa, okay, Daniel, you weren't on my radar before. You are now. I don't think he's going to make the team, but he's throwing his name in the hat. That was impressive. He had some really impressive reps versus Cincinnati. So, Tuhill's still nursing the toe. How serious is that injury? Is he in the same category with William Jackson III and Curtis Samuel, where they feel like, yo, he'll be ready. You know, we just not going to rush him back, but he's ready. If we needed to play a game next week, he could play. If he's in that boat, I still think he's DE number 4. Even with missing all of this time, I think he's still a guy that they're comfortable with. If he's not healthy, if they're still concerned about the toe, he starts the season on the practice squad. Nobody's going to fight us over Casey Tuhill. Nobody's fighting us over any of our defensive ends, first and foremost. You cut Shaka Toney, he's on the practice squad. You cut William Bradley King, he's on the practice squad. You cut Casey Tuhill, he's on the practice squad. So we don't have to worry about any of these guys getting snatched up. So this isn't one of those positions where you look at the guy and you say, man, I don't know. Like tight end, you cut Sammy Reyes, I'm like, man, I don't know. You might not get him back. So the end position isn't as significant. It's still a position that's open. But it's not as It's not as tight as tight end 3 because you could actually lose Sammis Reyes if you cut him. You could not get him back. That's very conceivable. So things get really interesting there. Same thing with Tori Mctire. You could cut Tori Mctire and not get him back. He's an NFL veteran too. So, and teams are always looking for help at corner. Always. So, things are getting really interesting. I said all that to say this. Things are getting really, really intriguing. That is for certain. Got another new member to the Mob Squad, Zulu Tribe 36. Welcome. Thank you for your membership. Stand up, Zulu Tribe 36. You're definitely in the building and a member of the MOBB. Thank you for your membership. So, let's get to some of these super chats. I got a few super chats that I need to knock out before we get to the final piece of information tonight. First super chat up. Metaphor. Thank you for the super chat, Metaphor. Greatly appreciate you. Metaphor writes, is Sammis back? Can I stand up a minute? Yes, Sammis is back. And he had, and we talked about this, he had some drops today in practice. And I think he is a guy. He came back to practice yesterday, so we talked about that yesterday. I know you said you had just got off of work. You didn't even know Steven Sims Jr. had got released, so you had a lot of catching up to do. He was at practice yesterday. So was Tamarick Hemingway yesterday. So, you know, a lot of those guys were back yesterday. But Sammis Reyes was not at his best today at practice. I know that Pete Hainer had a blow-up on Ricky Seals-Jones today at practice. It told him to get the F out of the rep. So, again, I don't know what the hell's going to happen at tight end 3. You know, that it is wide open, to say the least. I really, generally, you go into the last preseason game and you're like, maybe 1 or 2 roster spots. But there's not going to be any real guys winning roster spots of consequence here in this last game. This is not like your normal standard third preseason game. Obviously, this is the first year with just 3, but this last preseason game is going to carry a ton of weight. I think there are legitimately 5 or 6 roster spots still left undecided that will be tightened up by the end of this preseason game. Now, they may go in with preconceived notions like, hey, this guy right now is in, this guy right now is in, this guy right now is in, like that. They may be going in thinking that, but by no means is that guy safe. They need to see it again to feel comfortable that this guy, if thrown into the fire, we can trust him. I think this game is going to be huge. And whether the Ravens play starters or not, and they probably won't, but whether they play them or not, they could care less. They want to see their guys go out and execute. So it's going to be a big week for sure. That is for sure. And I see the Ron's plan emoji. I got to try to make these things bigger. I don't know how to make them bigger. I told you I'm not tech savvy, so I'm working on it, man. I'm going to get that thing right and get these emojis a lot bigger so you can see them. Don't worry. Give me a little bit of time and I'm going to get that thing right. Tony P56, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Tony P56, writes, what up, Lou? What up, Tony P56? Says, I got my Ron's Plan shirt last week, and I must say I'm impressed with the quality. Not basic Walmart cotton. Thanks, Lou, and Ron's Plan. Ron's Plan. Look, man, I told you, the one thing that you can expect from me is top-notch quality. That's, if I'm going to put my name on something, if I'm going to promote something, it will not be trash. I wouldn't do that to you guys. And I talk about this all the time. Even in the products that I promote, you know, obviously I'm looking to make a buck, right? But I'm not gonna have something on my there. I've been approached by other companies to promote their stuff. I don't believe in their product. And I'm not gonna sell you guys on something just so I can put money in my pocket if I don't believe in the product. I would never do that to you guys. Okay? So again, if you're buying something that I have any hand in, it's gonna be of high quality. And I'm so glad that you guys have received that shirt and the merch overall in general well. And I'm so glad that you guys have enjoyed it to this point. So thank you for that, Tony P56. And again, if you have a Ron's Plan shirt, you would like to be a part of the collage that I'm trying to put together. Some of you have sent me pictures, but it's been like via IG and in your story, and it's gone. I can't see it anymore, so I can't download it to put it in. So if you have a picture out there and you got your Ron's Plan tee on, you can even cut your head off if you don't want your face to be shown. But if you got the shirt, you want to be a part of this collage, please, by all means, send me a picture. It doesn't really matter via what social media platform. DM me on IG or on Twitter with your picture, and I would love to add you to the collage. So thank you for that, Tony P56. Fat American, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, and thank you for becoming a member of the Mob Squad. My guy Fat American writes, which team has the better defense, 2005 Redskins or this year's defense? Feel like the 2005 defense was more physical and aggressive. They hit too. I can't tell you about this year's defense because we haven't seen it yet. Hard to rate a defense when they haven't played a game to this point. But I mean, if you just want me to go off of what they look like on paper going into the season, I think we've already done this exercise before. Give me this year's defensive line. Give me that team's everything else. Give me that team's cornerback situation. Give me that team's linebackers. Give me that team's safety position. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, 2005 might have been, I think LaRon Landry might have been 06, but that might have been LaRon Landry's first year, along with Sean Taylor back there in 05. I think that was still Ryan Clark, man. So I think Landry wasn't until 06, but whatever the case may be, it was Sean Taylor, man. That in itself was enough for me. That defense, I told you, I loved that defense. Loved that defense in 05. You still had LeVar Arrington. You still had Sean Taylor. You had Marcus Washington. You had some dogs on that defense. Carlos Rogers was on that defense. And he was good. You say what you want about Carlos Rogers. Maybe he couldn't see and he needed glasses, but he was a hell of a corner, at that time. That was a good football team, man, defensively. I remember going to Tampa in that playoff game and shutting the Buccaneers absolutely down. Not to say that the Buccaneers were any kind of offensive juggernaut, because they weren't, but we were that damn good defensively too, in our own right. So I would take this year's D-line and give me that team's everything else, essentially. So what I'm essentially saying to you is, do I rate this defensive line that much better than that defensive line? I think that was Phillip Daniels and, Cornelius Griffin and, I think that was what that line was comprised of. A bunch of those guys. They were good football players. But Andre Carter might have been on that defensive line as well. But they weren't this group. You know what I mean? So overall, that defense was probably better than this defense. But this defense has a chance to be better than that defense. We'll see. We'll see for sure. I mean, I think that defense was more physical though, and I loved Marcus Washington. Loved him. Thought he was a playmaker too. Condo P, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, Condo P. Let's see. Nick Forbush, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, Nick Forbush, who writes, Everett and or Reeves on the chopping block. I don't think Everett is. I do think Reeves, however, could be. I think they're going to keep Jeremy Reeves too, though. But that's an interesting dilemma there. What they're going to do at safety, what they're going to do at corner, how many they're going to keep of each. I think ultimately I was saying that they're going to keep, 6 corners, with Troy Apke being a part of that mix. And if you do that, then you run the risk of maybe only being able to keep 4 safeties. There's no way they're only keeping 4 safeties. They got to keep 5. And if they keep 5, I think they keep both Everett and Reeves. And then the rookie, Derek Forrest is on the practice squad, and they like him a lot, but I don't think they like him enough to get rid of Jeremy Reeves. Not after what Reeves did for them last year. They know they can put him in the game and they can trust him. They don't know that about Derek Forrest right now. And I'm not a big Derek Forrest fan as a safety in the game right now. I don't think he takes great angles. I don't think he's a great tackler. I think he needs work. On special teams, however, he's a dog. That's part of the reason why they drafted him. He was a core special teamer at Cincinnati and one of the best in college football. So that's something that you can't dismiss. But Reeves is not on. I mean, Everett is not on the chopping block. But Reeves, however, I think is. But I don't think he's going to get cut. I think they're going to end up keeping 5. I think where they're going to trim off a little bit of fat to keep Jaret Patterson, because I think that's where the ripple effect happens, is keeping that 4th running back. That wasn't in the plans initially. Is they're going to trim off one of the offensive linemen. I think I've made up my mind that they're going to trim off one of the old linemen, and I think it's going to be David Sharp. They don't want him to go too far. They would love to have him on the practice squad, but offensive lineman, that's another premium position in this league. You cut one, somebody's going to snatch him up. So, and he, as a veteran, you're looking for a guaranteed salary for the entire season. You want to be on somebody's roster come week 1 so you can have your full salary guaranteed to you for the upcoming season. He's not turning down an opportunity to be active on someone's roster week 1. So if we cut him and he has an offer to say go play for the Indianapolis Colts, he's going to go play for the Colts because he's going to be on their roster come week 1, and that would guarantee his salary for the entire season, which you would not have as a practice squad member. So we'll see what happens there. But I don't think Everett is on the chopping block, but Reeves is definitely in the crosshairs. But I think he is going to ultimately make the football team. Metaphor, thank you for the super chat. Double up. Thank you for doubling up, Metaphor. Greatly appreciate you. My guy Metaphor writes, Lou, Sammy's may just be some live action away, ? That could be the case, but he missed the game. That was some very vital game action that he just missed, and he's running out of time. That's essentially, he could have benefited from 4 preseason games. He really could have benefited from 2 more games being left. You know, the more he plays, the more he gets exposed to the physicality and, you know, the speed of the game and what he has to do and his assignments. And that's, when you listen to him talk, he's telling you, I need more reps. I need more reps. And you can't replicate game speed in practice. Teams try it. It's hard to do. It's almost impossible. And I would love to see this guy make the team, but again, we're not in the business of helping a guy come along during game reps when they actually matter. We need guys we can count on because, again, Sammy Reyes is 1 snap away from becoming TE2 in a regular season game if he is active. You can't have TE2 out there dropping passes, not knowing assignments, missing on blocks, taking the wrong step. These are things you need to work out in practice. He's just not there yet. And it's not muscle memory for him yet. So more practice, and I'm telling you, maybe 3 months from now, come week 6, he's ready. He's not. I don't think he's ready right now. So this Ravens game is going to be huge. If he goes out there, he catches the football cleanly, he has 3 catches for 35 yards, one of them is a touchdown, and he blocks his ass off, and the other 2 don't really do much to move the needle, he might win the job because the upside is there. They know what this guy is capable of from an upside. Like, talent-wise, the other 2 don't compare to him. But talent can only get you so far. They're looking for that 3rd tight end. They're looking for more of a sure thing. I think they want the upside of Sammy Reyes, but they also want a guy that they know if they have to put him in the game, he can do his job. And I don't know if they're there yet. And that's why this game is important for him. He needs to eliminate the mistakes, and he needs to be able to catch the football if it's thrown to him. So we'll see. Got on the super chat here from Fat American. Thank you for the super chat, Fat American. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Fat American writes, gold all in my chain, gold all in my ring. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Keep going. Gold all up in my watch. Keep going. Got another super chat. This one is from Fat American. Thank you for the super chat. And I think that was your second. Double up. I'm not sure. I think that might have been your second super chat. So thank you for the super chat, Fat American. And tripling up here, he writes, I meant to say the 2020 defense. My bad. Oh, okay. Cool bees. So the 2005 defense was better than the 2020 defense. That's not close. That defense was solid. It wasn't great. The 2005 defense was the best defense Washington has had in the last 20 years. That 2005 defense, that playoff team that went to Tampa and won the last time we won a playoff game in 05, that defense was lights out. So 2020 can't touch that defense. This defense may be able to rival that defense, but we got to see. Excuse me. Got another super chat. This one is from DCJ. Thank you for the super chat, DCJ. Greatly appreciate you. My guy DCJ writes, what's good, Lou? Want to say I'm not a fan of Bostic at outside linebacker, even in spot duty. Also, why won't media or Ron express concern to red zone offense looks like last year? Because they're not running anything major. How many times have we seen them get down inside the 5 or 7 and just throw a fade? Like, they're keeping it basic. They don't want to give away anything that they're doing. How many times have we gotten down there and thrown fades? I can think of at least 3 different scenarios of us throwing fades down in the red zone in this preseason. So they're not looking to give away anything. Don't be alarmed by anything. And so I don't think there needs to be any emphasis put on red zone this or that right now, because everything is vanilla, Everything is literally vanilla. So I wouldn't be concerned about that right now. But I don't have a problem with Bostic being on the field. I want Jamin Davis to get up to speed as quick as possible. Here's where I have an issue. When Bostic is on the field in nickel, that's when I have a problem. Because that's when you need your best athletes and your most gifted cover guys on the field, and Bostic is not that. So I would like Jamin Davis to get up to speed as quickly as possible. And Ron talked about that like 3 days ago in a presser where he said, right now we're working Bostic and Holcomb in nickel because those two are comfortable with one another. We're comfortable with Bostic being on the field. He knows where to be. He knows how to get everybody lined up, and him and Cole Holcomb are used to communicating with one another. So we're going to go with that right now because that's the most comfortable pairing that we have. I need Jamin Davis to make him and Cole Holcomb the most comfortable pairing that they have, that they can put on the field. So the sooner he gets up to speed, the more comfortable they become with him, the faster he'll be able to be on the field in nickel situations, which is part of the reason we drafted him at 19, because of his cover skills. So that's what I'm looking for from Jamin Davis. I don't really mind Bostic being on the field when we're in our base package. It's when we get into nickel and he's on the field with Cole Holcomb, that's when I'm not really enthused, because Bostic was a liability in coverage last year, and I don't see that changing this year. So I would much prefer to see Jamin Davis take over that role, but I don't want them to put him on the field until he's ready to take over that role. Don't just give him that role, make him earn it. That's what they're doing. And once he gets there, I think they'll be really comfortable with him being on the field, and I will be really comfortable with him being on the field, because I am not comfortable with John Bostic being on the field in nickel. So thank you for that super chat, DCJ. Condo Perry says it was Ryan Clark and Sean Taylor. I figured that was 05 because they didn't draft Landry until Clark was gone. And I think Clark was there 05. I want to say Clark was there 06 as well. They should have re-signed him. They didn't, and that's when they drafted Landry, either 06 or 07. And she says Landry was 07. So, yeah, that sounds about right. I think there was only 1 year of Sean and Landry because we thought that we had a tag team safety tandem for like the next decade. And I think Landry went wrong because they tried to make him into Sean Taylor when Sean passed, and he was supposed to strictly be a box dude. And when Sean passed, they tried to make him a free, and that wasn't LaRon Landry. He was a big, beefed up linebacker playing safety, and he needed to be in the box. And Sean allowed him to be in the box. And when Sean passed, they tried to make Landry into Sean Taylor, and it just went epically bad. And Kondo also says Sean Springs. I told you the secondary, Rodgers and Springs and Clark and Taylor. This secondary doesn't even come close to that secondary. Like Marcus Washington loved. I can't tell you. I love Marcus Washington. Love that guy. And the LeVar Arrington and even the D line wasn't bad. You know, as I mentioned, Cornelius Griffin. Phillip Daniels and Andre Carter, like the defense, the D line wasn't bad. It just wasn't as good as this D line, obviously. So, got another new member of the Mob Squad. Welcome to the Mob Squad, Jesse Navarrete. Really appreciate you becoming a brand new gold member of the mob, Jesse Navarrete. Stand up, Jesse. You are definitely in the building as a member of the MOBB. Welcome, Jesse. Thank you so much for becoming a member, Jesse Navarrete. Door Gunner. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Door Gunner, writes, getting my fix of LTN from 7,000 miles away and 7 a.m. here. So you on some early wake up, man. Again, we appreciate you for what you do, Door Gunner. Really, really do. He says, thanks for all the entertainment and keeping me filled in on the team. Hashtag champs are here. The champs are definitely here, and we got to go out and defend the crown for sure. Metaphor. Thank you for the super chat and tripling up my guy Metaphor, who writes, make emojis 48 by 48 minimum, 1 MB. Ramon emoji. Nah, no Ramon emoji. I don't think, at least. Maybe we'll get one. But I'll see what I can do making them 48 by 48. For whatever reason, I can't seem to make these things big enough. But I'll try that. Thank you for the suggestion. Zulu Tribe 36. Thank you for the super chat, Zulu Tribe 36, who writes, I think our defense has made the offense way better and will shock the league. Your thoughts? I hope so. I mean, iron sharpens iron, but I'm not sure if our offense is iron quite yet. You know, maybe more like copper, or zinc. I'm not sure that it's actually iron right now. We'll see. You know, I'm excited about the prospects of this offense, though. I think they've moved the ball effectively, and it's just been one thing here or there that has stopped us from, completing drives and finishing it off with touchdowns and things of that nature. So I'm excited about this offense. I think it has a chance to be really dynamic and explosive, something that we haven't been offensively since Kirk Cousins was here back in 2015, maybe even 2016. So I'm really looking forward to the offense. But, I mean, I'd be lying to you if I said I wasn't somewhat, still concerned about the offense. But, I mean, it's the preseason. I'm not going to go over the top with concern, but you would like to see the offense be a little bit sharper, more crisp, but we don't even have all the guys out there. Curtis Samuel, never, ever trust a man with 2 first names. Hasn't been out there. And again, they're not game planning. But, you can say that about a number of teams, like the Denver Broncos, for instance. And they're scoring 30 plus every week, it seems like. And they're executing out there and they're making plays. So you just want to see, the offense score some points. I don't expect that to happen against the Ravens. They're a stingy defense. I don't expect us to go light up the scoreboard in this game either. So I just hope we got a can of whoop ass waiting for the Los Angeles Chargers week 1, and I hope we're ready to explode and put up 34 in the season opener. But we'll see, I can tell you this, the offense is benefiting from playing against our defense. I do think that is the case. So thank you for the super chat, Zulu Tribe 36. Got another new member, my guy Colton Pagano Jackson, CPJ. Stand up, my guy CPJ. Welcome to the Mob Squad. You are definitely in the building as a gold member of the MOBB. Thank you so much for your membership, CPJ. Really do appreciate you. All right. Got another super chat. It's from DCJ. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. DCJ, greatly appreciate you. DCJ writes, I agree with what you're expressing, but execution has not been solid. I agree with that. Red zone wise. Otherwise, offense is mostly solid. D is season ready. Oh, I see concerns. I don't disagree with any of that. Again, that's what the preseason is about, execution. We have not been flawless in that aspect. But you're not looking to put anything out there for teams to be able to dissect film-wise. So you're going to put out there as vanilla a package and plays as possible, stuff that everybody around the league is running. Simple, basic concepts. But within those concepts, you want to see execution. And we haven't executed at a high level, whether it's been an errant pass or miscommunication between receiver and quarterback. I thought you were going to do this. You did that. So the ball's here. You're there. That type of thing. And that's what the preseason is for. Work those things out. Get to a better understanding so you can put those things on film. You can talk about it, discuss them, so that the next time there is actually a connection instead of an incomplete pass or, some timing issues that may not be there. You can iron those things out. So I'm right there with you. I think there could be better execution, but I'm not worried. If we were talking scale of 1 to 10, it's less than a 5 for me. It's probably at a 4 right now. I'm not overly concerned. Come talk to me after the first 2 weeks of the season. If we're still having trouble scoring points as an offense and we haven't hit 20 yet, okay, now the concern goes up. But I'm not concerned with preseason action. They've moved the football. So if we were going 3 and out constantly, I would be way more concerned. But we're moving the football. My guy, Fat American, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Fat American writes, my B, bro, just be going down the 05 rabbit hole. My bad, bro. It's all good. Look, I can go right down that rabbit hole with you. I have no problems doing it. But we could do that tomorrow night. You know what I mean? We could do that tomorrow night for sure. Ronaldo win. Okay. He says it was Ronaldo win, Cornelius Griffin, Philip Daniels, Joe Salavea on that D-line. Yeah, that sounds about right. I thought Andre Carter was on that line too, but maybe he didn't come until like 06. He was probably there for the 07 run then. Because Ronaldo win, that rings a bell with him. I wasn't the biggest Ronaldo win fan. He was a solid veteran though, but by that time, at that point of his career, his best football was definitely behind him. But anyway, I digress. Got another new member of the Mob Squad, Adrian Hernandez. Thank you for your membership and becoming a member of the Mob Squad. Adrian Hernandez, stand up. You are definitely in the building and a member of the MOBB. Thank you for your membership. Metaphor, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, my guy Metaphor. Writes, my bad, we got a Ramon emoji already. You dirty bastard, you. Oh, good one. Good one. Oh, man. You were dirty for that one. Got another super chat. This one is from J Riv. Thank you for the super chat, J Riv. Greatly appreciate you. My guy J Riv writes, do you think we will make any trades before the 53-man cut? No, I don't see us. We don't have any glaring holes on this roster that would require a trade now. You know, if a guy were to go down, and God forbid that happen, you know, let me knock on a little bit of wood. I shouldn't have even said it. But, you know, if something like that were to happen, like I give you a great example. The Atlanta Falcons had their backup quarterback, A.J. McCarron, go down to a torn ACL, you know, on a simple handoff. He's going to hand off the ball to the running back, and then his ACL just pops. And you see him jumping up in the background, like limping, and that was it. ACL gone on a simple handoff, you know. And just like that, they got to do something. They're scrambling and shuffling their papers, as a wise man used to say, trying to figure out what they're going to do. And they signed Josh Rosen, which I don't think solves anything for them. But in that type of situation, that's when you would need to make a trade. You know, if, you know, something happened to a position where you were already thin and you think that you're in win now mode. Like, see, we're not in win now mode. Yeah, we want to win. Yeah, we want to make the postseason. Yeah, we would like to build off of what we did last year. But if a guy goes down for the season and you think you're a Super Bowl contender, you got to make a trade because you feel like your window of opportunity is open now. That's not us. So if a guy goes down, it's the next man up. You don't need to make a trade. You don't need to give away future assets because you don't feel like you're in a position to win right now anyway. Win anything of substance, that is. So I don't see us making any trades. They like the roster. They like the guys that they have here in-house. I wouldn't be shocked if they, you know, looked around the league at the scrap heap after the, you know, rosters are trimmed down another 27 players from 80 to 53, and they start looking around at what other teams have discarded and say, hey, this guy might be better than what we have. I don't know if, you know, I wouldn't be shocked if they did that, but as far as them actually making a trade is concerned, no, I don't see that happening. No, I don't. So, thank you for the super chat, J Riv. Got a super chat here from Rashid Fry. Thank you for the super chat, Rashid Fry. Greatly appreciate you. My guy Rashid writes, Lou, our offense seriously needs to start the season being a 30-plus scoring team. Everyone we are playing are a score at will or pull off last-minute heroics. Yes, and that's why I said I would love nothing more than to come out of the gate swinging week one against the Chargers, who is very capable of putting up 30 themselves with Justin Herbert and a bunch of explosive weapons offensively at his disposal. Right out of the gate, I would love to come out and score 34. You know, and I would love it if it wasn't a shootout, 34-30. But as long as we win, I really don't give a shit what it looks like. But I would love to go out there, defense smother them. They hold them to 17. We score 31, and we win that thing going away comfortably, 31 or 34 to 17 or 34 to 20. I would love that to be the case in week one. Highly unlikely, though. Highly unlikely, and I wouldn't hold my breath. But as you mentioned, I mean, you come out of the gate. You got the Chargers week one. I think you got the Bills week 3 on the road, if I'm not mistaken. If not week 3, week 4. I think the Bills are definitely in that second wave of games on the road. I think they actually are week 3. And then you get the, not too far along after that, the Saints, the Falcons, the Chiefs, you know, the Packers. They're all coming. And it's all within the first month, 2 months of the season, you know, or so. You know, we get into October, and if the offense isn't clicking and we can't score points, we're going to be, you know, 2 and 5 or 6. Because the schedule that we have has teams that can cook quickly offensively. And if this defense can't hold it down, or the offense can't find a way to score or take advantage of some opportunities, we're going to be in some trouble. So I'm with you. We need to score points. It is imperative. You want to win some of these games against good teams, you know, whether it's Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers or Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs or Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons. You saw what Jameis Winston and the Saints did. I don't know how good they're going to be, but they can score. They can still score. Sean Payton is still an offensive mastermind. So we got to be able to score points. So I'm with you, Rashid. Thank you for the super chat. DCJ, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy DCJ writes, I can't lie, I don't like this finesse O-line stuff. Well, get used to it, DCJ. That's what we are. That's who we've been. It's not like we just turned into this overnight. This is who we've been. All right? We've been a finesse offensive line really since Jay Gruden got here. When the last time, and by no means is a Mike Shanahan zone run blocking scheme, downhill, physical, dick in the dirt, man movers in the run game. But they have specific jobs to do, and in that zone run blocking scheme, they do it well. And so we were able to get yards in the run game because that thing is timeless, and if it's executed right, you're going to pick up yards in the run game. That's why Kyle Shanahan every year is going to be in the top 5 in rushing offense because they just know how to run it. They know how to coach it, and they get offensive linemen that fit their scheme, and those guys take care of business. We haven't had an offensive line like that since 2012. I think 2013. That was the last year of Shanahan. And even then, I don't know how good we were running, but it was still Shanahan. The Shanahans were still here. So once Jay got here, that all went to shit. And that's just who we are. Deal with it. We're a finesse offensive line. We pass block better than we run block, and that's just who we are. The run sets up the pass for us, not the other way around. It just is what it is. Thank you for the super chat, DCJ. Got another super chat from my guy, CPJ, Carlton Pagano Jackson. I really appreciate the love, Carlton Pagano Jackson, my guy, CPJ. Thank you so much for the love, man. Can't begin to tell you how much that really means. Thank you so much, CPJ, who writes, just showing love. The mob appreciates all you do, brother. I really appreciate you and all of you out there for all the love that you've shown me. Again, none of this is possible without you guys. So the feeling is definitely mutual and reciprocated. So thank you guys so much for everything. So, wow. Appreciate that, CPJ. Metaphor. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Metaphor writes, CPJ needs a platinum level sub with that bankroll. That's my guy, CPJ, man. I can't stress to you guys enough how much that guy continues to support, like many of you do. A lot of you guys and females out there, guys and gals. I don't want to leave anybody out because a lot of you are huge supporters of the Louie T Network. And again, it wouldn't be what it is without a lot of you guys and gals out there holding it down, man. I really appreciate all of y'all. So thank you so much for that super chat. So the last order of business tonight, and I'm going to make this a giveaway for the Ravens game. If you are interested, simply just do the following. Leave a comment in the comment section of this video. Hashtag win. That is it. Win. Hashtag win. Okay? If you are interested in winning those 2 tickets to the Ravens game on Saturday night or Saturday evening. Hashtag win. That is it. I'm going to put it out on social media. Hashtag win. If you're interested, give away 2 tickets. All right. All you got to do is be a subscriber to the Louie T Network. You don't even have to be a Mob Squad member. This is the last time I'm giving away anything to anyone non-Mob Squad related. I got 2 tickets to the Giants game, Thursday Night Football, Week 2. That's for Mob Squad only. All right, but this right here, these 2 tickets, call it my last token of appreciation to the entire congregation. If you're interested, you want a chance to win, hashtag win is all you got to put in the comment section of this video. Okay? That is it. Be a subscriber to this channel and hashtag win, and we'll have the drawing tomorrow night. All right? Or tonight. It's already Wednesday if you're on the East Coast. So, got another super chat from DCJ. DCJ writes, "Don't kill my hopes, laughing my ass off." And the unfortunate part is Ron was finesse run mostly in Carolina. Man, I miss the Stephen Davis and Terry Allen days. Yeah, those days are long gone, bro. They are not coming back, DCJ. They are not coming back. You know, you need Marty Schottenheimer. You need Marty Ball. You know, you need somebody that's 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Those days are long gone. The NFL has changed, and it's changed for, honestly, the better. It's for a more entertaining game, more spread and wide open. But, you know, when it gets cold outside, when we get closer to the playoffs, you got to be able to still run the football. That does mean something. And, you know, ask the Atlanta Falcons. That's why they didn't win the Super Bowl against the Patriots when they were up 28-3. They couldn't run the football, or they didn't run the football. They should have. You got to be able to run the football. You know, when you see teams blow leads, it's because they don't run the football effective enough. So, but those days are long gone here in Washington, that's for sure. Fat American, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Fat American writes, would a power O-line be relevant in today's NFL? Yeah. I mean, there are 3 teams in particular that still feature a power O-line. The Tennessee Titans, the Cleveland Browns, and the Baltimore Ravens. And you see what they're able to do now. Again, with the Ravens, they're a little bit different because they got Lamar Jackson. It's similar to when we had Robert Griffin III back in 2012. It adds a different dimension when you have a quarterback that can use his legs in such a dynamic way. It opens up more rush lanes for your running backs. But the Ravens are still capable of lining up single eye and putting your dick in the dirt. You know, put their fullback. They'll put their 280-pound fullback in Ricard, you know, and absolutely create a brand new line of scrimmage and put your dick in the dirt. And we know the Titans are capable of doing that when you got a 2,000-yard rusher, and the Browns are capable of doing that when you got a two-headed monster like Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. So those are the 3 lines in particular that you look at and you say those are dogs. Those are dogs up front. And, yeah, you can still win and be relevant, you know. It's not rocket science that all 3 of those teams were in the playoffs last year. Why? Because they could run the football. There was a stretch there for the Browns where there was a nor'easter in the in the Midwest, and they had 2 straight home games, and you couldn't throw the ball. And I think they lost to the Raiders. They may have beaten the Raiders, but I think they lost to the Raiders, and they beat the Texans. And the only reason they were in either one of those games is because they could run the football. Without it, they would have lost both of those games. So yeah, you can run the football still in today's NFL for sure. Power line still exists. All right. Got a brand new member. I really am sorry in advance because I'm probably going to mess your name up. I'm sorry. If you want me to say it right, just send me a message so I can get it right. But brand new member, Swale Nida, thank you for your membership. Greatly appreciate you. Swale Nida, stand up. You in the building as a brand new member of the Mob Squad. All right. Nida, Swale, you let me know how to say it and I'll get it right. I really appreciate you for becoming a brand new member. DCJ writes, spread-wise and shotgun Washington football team run game is solid, but heavy lock-up sets, Washington gets pushed around or misses blocks, force the pass game to be more consistent. I love it when we spread teams out and run. I think that's when we're our most effective. But as you mentioned, when we get in tight quarters and we got to have it, That's why Peyton Barber has to be in there. That's just how I see it. So Wale, okay. So Swale, got you. Swale, done. All right. So, got it. Swale, Nita, got it. All right. So, I don't really love us in those tight quarters, but that's why you got to have Peyton Barber, because I know he's not going to miss. I put him in as long as you don't have a guy like the first preseason game against New England where Charles Leno failed to get a piece of a screaming Matthew Judon off the edge, and before Peyton Barber could even get to the line of scrimmage, he's got a guy around his ankles. As long as you allow this man to approach the line of scrimmage, he's going to get the first down. He just instilled that kind of confidence in me. He's going to fight. He's going to drag. He's going to push. He's going to do whatever he's got to do to get there. So they just got to be better. Period. End of discussion. Fat American, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Fat American writes, then why isn't Power O common anymore? Good 4 W's. Because it's a lot harder to find those kinds of players and backs. And honestly speaking, the NFL and the rule changes benefit a much more wide open passing attack. You score points in this league via the passing game a lot of times, not on the ground. You know, you build a lead with the passing game, you keep it and keep a team away with the run game. But teams are looking to be explosive and dynamic. We had this discussion already. When you looked at the final 4 teams last year in the championship game, they were all explosive teams that at a drop of a hat could hit you for an 85-yard touchdown strike. None of those teams were ground you into oblivion teams. They were teams that could spread you out and pick you apart via the air. And if they needed to, the Packers could run it with Aaron Jones. If the Chiefs needed to run it with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, they could. Or Daryl, what was it? Oh, shucks. The running back from LSU that they had last year as a rookie. And then, you know, same thing could be said with the Bills. You know, to a lesser degree, they could run it with some of the running backs they had. And obviously, the Buccaneers, they showed they can run the football if they needed to last year. So, but all of those teams, they throw it. You want to win in this league, you got to be able to throw the football. So that's why you don't see a lot of that. And it's not easy to do either, you know. It takes a different type of offensive lineman, a different type of mentality, a different type of play caller to stick with the run. A lot of these offensive play callers want to throw it. You know, you're dealing with a lot of ex-quarterbacks in high school and college and guys that see the game differently. They want to throw it. That's what's fun to them. That's what's exciting, and that's their philosophy. Not a lot of guys are around anymore that are looking to, you know, really beat you up running the football. So, anyway, I digress. So, that's going to do it for me, your man, Louie T. Again, I didn't expect to be here as long as I was, but, again, if you guys are here and you guys are lively and you're chopping it up with me, we'll stay for as long as you guys want. So, again, if you want to be in that sweepstakes for the 2 tickets, the giveaway to the Ravens game this Saturday, #win is all that needs to be left in the comment section, and you will be entered into the drawing that we will do on tomorrow night's or tonight's live stream later on. So that's out there. #win. I got one more super chat. This one is from my guy, Colton Bogano Jackson. Double up. Thank you for doubling up, CPJ. Greatly appreciate you. Once again, thank you for all of the contributions, CPJ, and all of you out there. Offenses have changed, much more dynamic and spread out, running here and there, but passing wins. I agree. I think that's just the way of the league now, and they've set it up that way. That's what people want to see. You know, there aren't many purist or, old man get off my lawn fans out there anymore. The game, they're trying to appeal to a younger audience. They want to see 38-34. They don't want to see 13-10. That's a different generation. I don't mind 13-10 at all. I don't mind a good old-fashioned defensive struggle with two hard physical teams getting after it. But I think the game I enjoyed in the playoffs the most last year, and I told you guys this, was Ravens Titans in wild card weekend. And I don't know what the final. I don't remember the final score of that game. I just know there was a lot of animosity, a lot of animus. Two teams that generally did not like each other. No love lost. Stepping on logos and things of that nature. And it was a physical war. Two teams that want to run the football, tons of defense, physical hitting. It was fun. I enjoyed it. But not a lot of people do enjoy that kind of stuff. They'd much rather see Green Bay and Tampa Bay duke it out, 34-30. And that's fine too. I enjoy that game as well. But anyway, I digress. I'm with you, CPJ. That's just what it is at this point. Metaphor, thank you for super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy Metaphor writes, just 1 week left. It's WJ3, 5 interceptions, looking up perhaps, juiced. I haven't changed. If the numbers given out are the numbers, we're going to see what's going to happen. We've heard so much about William Jackson III not being totally comfortable playing zone right now. He was more of a man guy, and they're trying to get him more comfortable, eyes on the quarterback, and playing with with vision to the quarterback, keying QB's eyes, things of that nature. We'll see, how he adjusts to that. But at the end of the day, we'll see what happens. We'll see what this defense is about. We'll see what guys are capable of doing. I don't see Juice being a big interception guy. I could be wrong. I could be wrong about Juice. But I'm sticking with Kendall Fuller as the team leader in INTs this season. So we'll see what happens this season. Anyhow, that's going to do it for me, your man, Louie T. I am a Washington fan, etched in burgundy and gold. My Washington spirit will never die. Washington spirit will never fold until we meet again. Hail to our beloved Washington football team. Look forward to chopping it up with you guys again tomorrow night. Should be a ton of fun. A lot of questions and comments and discussions to be had about this roster. Another day of practice, another day of Ron speaking with the media. And maybe we'll get a little bit more clarity, but I don't think you'll get that until after the preseason game against the Ravens. And then I think the real discussions begin. As soon as that game is over, I'm going to start hacking out a 53-man roster, and we'll have that available probably the day after that game on Sunday night. More likely than not is when I'll try to hammer that out. But we'll see. If it's not Sunday, definitely Monday. I'll have that thing out nice and early, so that it'll have time to breathe before the final 53-man roster is conceived. So with that said, that's going to do it for me, your man, Louie T. You guys get off the bench, get in the game, and kick it with me, your man, Louie T. Shout out to all the brand new members of the Mob Squad, joining all of the previous members of the Mob Squad. We look to make this thing a big family, and we love handling family business the only way we know how, the mob way, okay? So we severing all mob ties. We holding it down because we're the Mob Squad, MOBB for life. And so we'll be watching the game together this weekend and every weekend thereafter. And some games, like if Dallas or the Giants or the Eagles are on primetime, we'll hop into MOBB and we'll chop it up like we always have. So looking forward to creating new memories with this Mob Squad here on the Louie T Network. So again, if you're interested in those 2 free tickets, as soon as this video is done, go to the comment section, #win if you are interested. Until next time, you guys have a good one. I'll see you tomorrow night for Washington Football Report Live. See you then.
LouieTeeNetwork.